Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be playing around with some alcohol inks. I've recently bought some new ones and thought I would give them a try. I'm going to use the alcohol inks on some glossy paper. I'm just using A4 glossy photo paper. The brand is Techno Papers for inkjet printers, and I'm going to create a Christmas art journal page. I hope you enjoy my video. Let's get started. I'm going to use an Adirondack blending solution, and I think I've got one of those alcohol inks as well, but I'm mostly using Paper Mill alcohol inks for this project. To start with, I'm going to splash a liberal amount of the blending solution over my page, and then I'm just going to drop drops of colour here and there on my paper and use that straw there to blow them together. The colours I'm going to use are the Adirondack in Cranberry. In the Paper Mill I'm using Fuchsia, which is a shimmer, White, Amethyst. I'm also using Amethyst Shimmer. There's a Ruby, a Rose Quartz and Citrus. I'm going to just add all of these colours together onto my piece of paper and use that straw to blow them around so that they mingle. I found that I had to work reasonably quickly to do this, and I needed to keep plenty of that blending fluid on the paper, otherwise the alcohol inks didn't move around. As I worked, I felt I needed some lighter colour, so I added some white and some yellow in amongst those colours. Not having a great deal of experience with alcohol inks, I think that I probably should have started with lighter colours all round, but yeah, trial and error. See what happens. Next time I will choose my colours a bit differently, I think. Once I had enough colour on the paper, I set that aside to dry. I'm going to be cutting this down to 8.5 inches by 8 3/4 inches. When the alcohol ink was nearly dry, you can see there's a few wet spots there. I used this foil that I've had sitting around for a few years, or quite a few years actually, and I just rubbed it onto the wet spots. Now, I probably did this a little bit too soon. You can see there that some of the alcohol ink came off on a part of that area that I put the foil on, but I went ahead and applied it to the other areas that were still wet as well. I like the holographic effect that this foil gives. I let it dry for a little bit longer, and then I came in with a piece of gold foil and just put a little bit of gold here and there. I had planned, well, my plan is to use gold for my focal points on this page. I would say the one thing that I've definitely learnt from this is make sure that you let your alcohol inks dry before you apply your foil. Now, because this is on photo paper, it's not very thick, so I'm cutting a base for my page. I'm going to put this in my 4-ring binder journal, and I'm cutting this paper so that it's 8 3/4 by 8 1/4. I allow an extra 1/2 inch on the width so that I've got room to punch my 4 holes that my rings go through. I'm going to use glue, and I'm going to stick that ink page on top of that white cardstock. That cardstock is about 250 GSM, so it's got a bit of weight to it. For my focal points, I've cut some die cuts. One of them Memory Box Snowflake Ornament, one is Joy die cut, and the other one is a Christmas tree. The last two I'm not sure of the brand because I've thrown the packaging away, and I've cut that from gold mirror card, and I'm going to use these for my focal point on my page. I'm going to use my Aleene's Original Tacky Glue to attach these gold die cuts onto my page where I want them to be. So I'm going to go ahead and attach all of my embellishments off camera. So it's about here that I am not happy with the page. The gold focal points are not standing out enough from the background. So I start to think of ways that I can lift them a little, make them a bit more obvious. But before I do that, I take my fine liner that's got watered down white acrylic paint in it, and I do a rough scribbly border around all four edges of my page. I then used my same fine liner to put some white strings coming down from the top of the page to hold my two ornaments that are there. I also used the white acrylic paint to go over the top of the stars on the Christmas tree. In an attempt to help my gold focal point stand out from the very shiny background, I used my Uniball Eye Micro black pen and put a rough or a scribbly sort of outline around each of my focal points. It wasn't enough. I still wasn't happy with it. The background just took over the focal points. So this is what my page looked like, and I wasn't happy with it. So I put it aside for a day and thought about what I could do. So I decided that I would cut all of my elements from white cardstock and stick them over the top of the gold elements that were already on my page. I then used my same Uniball Eye Micro pen and did my detailing on my page. So each of my white embellishments has got a bit of a scribbly black outline. To add some gold back into my page, I'm going to use this Stickles, and I'm going to put some gold onto the stars on the Christmas tree, some of the snowflakes on the baubles, and the piece that holds the bauble at the top to the string. The brightness of the lights reflecting onto this page make it pretty hard for you to see the page, but with the white focal points it is a lot easier to see the focal points. They stand out a lot better. The colourful background is still overpowering, and next time I use alcohol inks I will be toning my colours down, that's for sure. But now that the white focal points are on there, I'm quite happy with the page, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If you have, please remember to click that subscribe button. Thank you for joining me here today, and see you when I release my next video. Bye.